Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. And now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here we go. Hello, my name is Darrell, and this is the Waywut podcast. And here I am with the guy that giggles like a little girl every time he farts, Jason.
It tickles, Darrell.
I was going to ask that. Is it because it tickles? And then,
Yeah, it tickles.
All right. Well, speaking of farts, I'm going to just jump straight into today's rant. It's a gassy rant.
All right. I got plenty of that too.
My name is Darrell, and my farts stink. I'm very brave for saying this, I know. It might be a shock to you, but it is a burden that my family and friends must bear. Now, I'm sure you wonderfully kind people out there listening are saying, Darrell, everybody's farts stink. Unfortunately, I'm a special case. Whenever I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18 years old, my youngest sister moved into my room because previously she was sharing a room with my other sister.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I moved out, she went in there as fast as she could. They had to paint the walls because my stink sunk into the sheetrock. Now, personally, I find that hilarious. Unfortunately, the people around me rarely see the humor in my weapon of ass destruction. And that's where my rant kind of kicks in, because loads of people fart around me, and everyone always finds theirs funny. However, whenever I do it, they act like I use their nose for toilet paper.
And it does have a very pungent smell.
I know, but it's not fair to get mad at me for something that you do too.
No, as long as I have access to air and an open window, I think I'll be okay.
But it's funnier when you don't.
Only for a little while, and then I pass out.
But to the people that get mad at me, do you get mad at someone for being a great football player when they beat you at football? Do you get mad at your accountant for being good at math when they do your taxes well? Why do you get mad at me because my body is good at expelling excess gas? I don't understand it. Now, it's time for me to be honest. This isn't a real rant because I don't really have this problem anymore. Ever since my wife has gotten me eating healthier, my farts are no more offensive than anyone else's. I kind of feel like Superman in Superman 2, the Christopher Reeve one, whenever he gives up his superpowers to live a normal life with Lois. Except I love my wife way more than he loved Lois because I'm not trying to get back my superpower. He goes back, gets his superpower, then gives her a superpowered kiss and makes her forget. Just stupid. Well, at least I'm not intentionally trying to get my power back. If I drink a kombucha or we eat bad for a little while, I'm able to wake her up from a dead sleep like my fart is smelling salts.
Oh my gosh.
Like she'll just wake up in the middle of the night and say, oh, baby!
You drink kombucha?
Kombucha? Yeah, dude. It's good for your gut.
Oh.
It's got a lot of good bacteria in there. Turns you into a frosty machine.
Gross. For a little while. Over that.
Although now that I think about it, I do have a legitimate rant about farts. If you fart and it stinks, you're able to acknowledge the stink of your own fart. But it's never as offensive and bad for you as it is for everyone around you because it's your fart. It's like
Yeah, it's
your
your
baby.
own.
Yeah.
That's right.
But have you ever lost an attachment to your own fart?
What do you
Has that ever
mean?
happened to you?
Like you don't
I-
want the smell of it anymore?
No, back whenever, my gas was in its prime, if I farted in the car before I got out of it, whenever I would get back into my car, even like the next day, whatever umbilical cord was attached from my butt to my nose to my fart or whatever was cut. And then all of a sudden it was experiencing it like it was somebody else's fart.
Oh, it
Have you ever had that
changed.
happen?
No.
Oh, it is a horrible thing. It is a betrayal at a genetic level, like down in your DNA. Your DNA is offended. Like, how could you do this to me?
That's how
I
strong your
think
farts are that they change chemically.
no. I just think it's a flaw in human design, and I'm just someone who experienced it. There was one time though that I actually had farts so bad that it overwrote that ability to be able to handle smelling my own fart.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
My cousin Debbie made the best enchiladas. Denise, if when you listen to this, don't be offended. I love your enchiladas, but Debbie's weren't made with healthy stuff. Just all of the unhealthy stuff that tasted really good.
Yeah, they're really good stuff.
Now, Debbie's enchiladas came with a price, and it was a price that everyone around me had to pay because it would give me like these horrible, nasty, stanky farts. One time, I had a few of the leftover enchiladas, and it was like a day or two after
Ooh,
she made them, so they've been sitting there, in the
right.
fridge for a couple
Yeah.
days. And for some reason, it just hit different that time. I was about 16 or 17 years old, and I was driving to a birthday party, just farting the whole way there. And I was driving by myself.
Mm.
And the stank thickened to a point where my brain could not recognize it as my own. And as I was pulling into the driveway of where I was going, it finally got to me and I gagged. I had to hurry up and get out of the car so I wouldn't puke. Oh,
That's pretty damn funny.
I am very.
Who
We can't
did
just sit here.
this?
That was what my body was like. It's like, this cannot be part of us.
No.
I am very, very, very grateful that no one was in the car with me. If
Uh,
anyone had been in that car, I would probably get charged with murder whenever they would die from fart poisoning or from jumping out of the moving car to get away from the smell.
yeah, they wouldn't believe them. There ain't no
Yeah.
way that fart smelled that bad.
Oh, well, speaking of farts so bad that it could potentially kill someone, let's talk about farts that led to jail time.
All right. Oh, man.
Okay, well, we got crazy crimes that are happening for ridiculous reasons. So where should we start? Oh, I know. Let's start with Florida.
Nah, I was about to say that.
In November of 2018, John Walker was waiting in line at a Dollar General in Dania Beach. I think it's Dania, I don't know. Dania Beach, Florida. Now, this was already a powder keg ready to go off. I imagine a Dollar General in Florida is probably just as insane as your typical Waffle House at 3 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
except just the entire time that it's open.
Oh,
Maybe even
yeah.
after it's closed for a while.
So home turf.
Yeah. So John was waiting in line when a woman he did not know, Shanetta Yvette Wilson, blasted ass. Now, I'm not sure if John found the smell or just the loudness of her fart particularly egregious, but it compelled him to complain about what she let loose.
Damn.
None of the articles I could find had any quotes from his fart tirade, and that left me pretty irritated. I mean, at this point, if you're not going to quote that, what good are you? Journalism is truly dead, just gone. The articles do say that they got into a verbal dispute that reached a climax when Shanetta took out a folding knife from her purse and said she was going to gut John.
Damn.
It is
That woman
claimed
wanted
that
to fart.
she it is claimed she made movements as if she was going to stab John, but no injuries were inflicted, if you don't count smelling her ass gas. There was no indication in any of the articles about how the altercation ended, like whether she just calmed down on her own, if somebody smacked her, or if John ran away, or if somebody else just farted on her and knocked her out. The Broward County Sheriff's Department was called, and they located Shanetta after the incident. She was then arrested for assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Her bail was set for $2,500. And that is where this story runs out of gas. I couldn't find any other articles that wrapped up how things went for Shanetta. Nobody would, said whether she went to jail, if the charges were dropped, or anything like that. So, as far as I know, the gutting gasser could still be out there on the loose.
The gutting gasser.
The gutting gasser. Now let's fly across the Atlantic and go to the Florida of the United Kingdom, Scotland. When the police in Aberdeen were responding to a car accident in the summer of 2019, they found 28-year-old Stuart Cook at the scene. More like they smelled him, not because of his farts, but because he reeked of pot. I'm not going through whether the police actions were within their rights, because I don't know how that stuff works in the UK. I don't know, are you allowed to do this, that, or the other? All I know is that the stop resulted in a search where they searched him and they found some weed. They then handcuffed him, and in stereotypical Scottish manner, Stuart got pissed off and began yelling, cussing, and acting aggressive. That pissed the cops off because they're Scottish and have Scottish tempers too. So they got pissed off and they booked him. However, they decided to kick things up a notch and they strip searched him once they got him to the station. I am someone that tends to defend police in reasonable circumstances, I should say. But I know from experience that there are some cops that if you irritate them, they will do everything in their power to inconvenience you. And in some cases, they'll do whatever it takes just to make you miserable if you piss them off. I kind of figured that's what happened here, because who gets strip searched for a joint? It's like, do you have anything hidden up there? No. Stuart was not going to take this lying down, mostly because he couldn't, because they had him bent over so they could get an unhealthy look at his asshole. While bent over, he farted 3 times and asked the searching officer each time, "How do you like that?"
More where that came from.
Now, technically, he was not charged with any crimes regarding the farts. However, they did use it as evidence of his attitude towards the arresting officers. He eventually pled guilty for possession of cannabis and was admonished without penalty for that charge. Basically, they said, "Hey, stop smoking weed in ways that get you caught, dummy." which I'm cool with that. Fine, whatever. He also pled guilty for behaving in a threatening or abusive manner and was sentenced to 75 hours of unpaid labor, or as we call it, community service. In my head, these Scottish cops charged him with being Scottish. It's not that I don't like Scottish people. The Scottish women that I've met have been very kind. The one Scottish man I met, I wanted to fight. And I hate fighting. That's how obnoxious he was. And remembering this guy is pissing me off. So I'm kind of wishing they would have thrown the Scottish stinker in prison and just thrown away the key. Screw him, because Scottish guy.
Oh, that's great.
Well, apparently, farting in Europe is dangerous because in June of 2020, a 22-year-old Austrian man was fined 500 euros for farting in the presence of a cop.
In the presence?
Yeah, it's not like the Scotsman where he was bent over, cheeks spread out, and just blowing wind on the guy, where has his hair blowing in the breeze. He just farted in his presence. The police approached the Austrian ass blaster along with his friends for a routine identity check. And here I thought Europe was trying to get away from the whole peppers, please shit, Apparently they still do it. Where are your peppers? The Austrian man, while sitting on a bench, lifted his butt from the seat and pushed out a fart.
That's always dangerous.
Well, it was just a fart. Was it a shark? Now, naturally, his friends thought that was hilarious. And I agree. I bet it was.
Hell yeah.
And after getting all the laughs, the Austrian ass blaster smiled at the cops. I can't find exactly what they ticketed him for, but he was fined for 500 euros. The Austrian ass blaster took the matter to court, arguing that farting was a protected form of expression.
What?
It's my freedom of speech. Freedom of my ass speech. The court did not agree, but the judge did reduce the fine to 100 euros, citing his financial situation and lack of a criminal record. So he didn't want to screw over some college kid saying, here's a $500 charge. He's like, instead of like, you can't eat for the month, you're just going to have to go a week without eating because you farted in front of a cop. Good old enlightened, so much better than us, Europe. Sorry, European listeners. Not sorry. Not to be outdone, Texas enters the ring where, in this case, a cop is the offending farter.
Oh.
Lawrence Michael Jonup was a 45-year-old detective with the Lago Vista Police Department back in 2014. He was also kind of a bullying dickhead. I mean, go figure. Since when do those guys ever want to be cops?
Right.
In a workplace incident, it was reported that Jonup walked by the police dispatcher, Donald Varner, and kicked him in the back while laughing. Donald, being a goddamn adult, did what you're supposed to do when someone at work gets physical, and he reported this to his superiors. Whether they talked to Jonup or not, I don't know. But the next day, he hit Donald in the head with a notebook, thumped his ear, and then farted in his face. I have a feeling that Jonup was raised by bullies from 1980s movies. I mean, I knew guys like this in high school, and the thought of any of them with a gun and the ability to arrest people, it at that age just terrifies me. Yeah, because I mean, fortunately, any of the people that I've come across like that, that were like that in high school do not appear to be the same as they were back then.
Kind of grew
I
out
mean,
of
the
it.
same as I wasn't the same, but I mean, apparently this dude was just in suspended animation all the way from the 80s, where I guess he watched Karate Kid every day, and he was like, thought William Zabka's character was like, that's who I want to be, just like him. I wish he was my real dad. You know. All right. Well, let's see. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Raised by bullies. All right. So Donald reported the actions of the Texas tutor, and the Texas tutor, Jonup, was charged with assault with injury.
With injury.
He faced a potential sentence of 1 year in jail and a fine up to $4,000.
No, man.
Now, thankfully, he was fired because no adult should be acting like that at any workplace unless you're an adult acting like a teenager in a 1980s movie and you play the bully. I have no idea if the Texas tutor was actually sentenced to anything or not. None of the articles say. As I said before, journalism is dead. I do think it is funny that in Texas law, assault and battery has been argued successfully in court to be contacting another person in a harmful or, and this is the part, or offensive manner.
That's
And
up to the
this,
interpretation of a judge, and that's
well, that was the thing, is this has been set as precedent because someone actually got convicted of assault and battery because they breathed cigarette smoke on someone intentionally. And so this
a
is
fart can hurt
precedent.
you.
It's offensive. The cigarette smoke didn't hurt the person, it was offensive. Yeah, so in
That's
Texas,
dangerous right there.
you can get hit with assault and battery for like intentionally farting on someone's nose. Way to keep them silly laws coming, Texas. Just keep them coming. God, they're terrible. They're just the. I we're we're successful in spite of our
Yeah,
politicians here,
we got a lot of good things going on.
and they're yeah. It's kind of like California. California's all like, yeah, we got all this money, and yet they could have like 10 times the amount that they have, but they got horrible politicians just
Mm.
on the opposite side of ours. That's just because all politicians are horrible. Now, for our final flatulist, Clay County Sheriff Department was looking for an unnamed man with a felony warrant for that involved controlled substances. So there's some sort of felony that he had that involved drugs, probably distribution or something like that. Selling dope. As the deputies searched for the man, they heard a loud back-end blowout. Following their ears, and probably their noses too, they located the suspect and arrested him.
Like a cartoon.
There are no details about the name or age or anything of the Clay County crack clapper, but the local government X accounts had a whole lot of fun with this.
I bet.
The the Clay County Sheriff's Department tweeted, "If you've got a felony warrant for your arrest, the cops are looking for you, and you pass gas so loud it gives up your hiding spot, you're definitely having a shit day." But they did a poop emoji. Having a poop emoji day doesn't sound as cool. The local police department, they kept trying to get in on it and kept tweeting some lame jokes that weren't very funny. But I do feel like they kind of redeemed themselves at the end, saying, "Fortunately, no one was injured during his arrest."
Just might be on a cartoon or something when the cartoon's hiding from the bad guy, then it ekes out a little fart or something, and then it gives away its hiding spot.
Well, typically in cartoons, they sneeze. They're
Sneeze,
sitting there
cough,
hiding.
yeah.
Except this case, it's just him sitting there hiding, just, I can't hold it no more.
That's a sign of a really good fart because he's trying to hold it in. So if you're trying to hold in a fart, it's not going to come out with much force. But now, if he's trying to push it out, it's going to make that loud noise a lot easier. So that's pretty impressive.
Oh, he could have just been really tight at the time, and now that he's been in prison for a while, you're probably somewhere like,
yeah, just wind down the hallway.
Did you hear a breeze?
Your paper just flutter off your desk.
T-Bone's in prison, and you're like, I heard you got caught because you farted really loud. I can solve that for you.
Let me waller it out.
When done, I'll kiss it and make it better. One of the local TV stations also got in on the jokes and praised the officers for being able to sniff them out. And this is apparently a pretty quick episode for me because I'm going to stop here because with the other stories I found, they weren't as lighthearted and funny as this. They kind of got pretty dark.
From farting?
So, yeah. So if you want some of the bloodier fart stories, that sounds really bad.
That's never happened to me. I don't want it to ever happen to me. That sounds terrible.
If you want to hear about some of the shittier fart crimes, is that better?
I don't want that to happen to me.
Okay, fine. If you want a sequel to this episode, let us know in the comments. Yeah, if you want
number two,
let us know in the comments.
Oh man, also, that'd be great.
If you've enjoyed this episode about silly crimes, go check out Excuse Me, That's Illegal, because the host Leroy Luna, he covers stories like this on every single episode that runs the gamut of bodily functions, but just also weird behaviors and everything else. Yeah. Just all sorts of weird little crimes like this.
And he tells it perfectly.
Oh yeah. I was channeling him while I was writing this.
I could tell.
I was worried I was going to absorb too much of his essence because I was afraid I was going to start saying a boot or
about
or I'd lose my ability to do accents. That's why I didn't try to do the Scottish accent here.
I was waiting for it. Oh, the groundskeeper.
I was a bit afraid because I was like, man, I'm syncing up with Leroy Luna and he is horrible at accents, but in a charming way. It's in a charming way.
He just changes his voice when he needs to do something, just higher or lower. Yeah.
Well, he also changes his cadence.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't have any accents either. I can't do any.
Scottish. I can do Scottish. My problem is I can't just do it with whatever sentence I want. There are just certain sentences I seem to be better at it. Like there for a little bit, we were thinking about when we were thinking about getting a third dog before we got the third dog. I was like, my wife was like, I want to name a dog Lachlan, and I was like, all I could think of is like I would shout at him with a Scottish accent, Lachlan. You bloody bastard, get out there. God damn it, that was awful. See, Leroy, you fucked up my accent. I used to do so good at that.
Lachlan was a character on Braveheart.
Lachlan. I can't. Now I'm on the spot. It's kind of like whenever y'all used to try to get me to do my Pinky voice from back in the day, or the Krusty laugh, or any of the other things that I was able to do in my youth. The second you're like, do it. I can't do it. If I just do it and it just flows, then great. But the second I think somebody like I don't do too many accents when we're on here because I know I'm just gonna fuck them up. I mean, I'll do the German ones and stuff like that. My issue with Scottish is it's too easy to accidentally start going Irish with it, and vice versa.
If you did, I couldn't tell the difference, and probably most of our listeners couldn't tell the difference.
We've had a Scottish person listen before. Matter of fact, recently we had our first Tokyo person. Which
Oh,
Tokyo person, if you want to like hook a brother up with like if you work at Tokyo Japan Airlines or something, you want to hook a brother up, I'm down.
oh yeah,
I
it'd be
want
fun
to
to
get
go to
back to
Japan.
Tokyo. I haven't been since 2019, I think 2018, somewhere
I'm
around
sure it's
there.
changed quite a bit. Well, I
Everything's
got a question
changed.
for you.
Okay.
Speaking of our younger years, on say able to do things we're no longer able to do,
Mm-hmm.
how impressed were you with our friend who had the ability to fart on command?
Oh, I've always been a bit impressed with that. I mean, the ritual leading up to it, because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, how does that push a fart out of your butt?
I don't
I mean,
know.
if I can make myself burp on command,
Yeah.
I can do that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to do it all the time, especially when we were little and we saw Revenge of the Nerds,
Yeah.
and I wanted to burp like Booger did, and we would sit around lunch table, sitting there just chugging it. But no, I don't. I would think that if the way maybe he was doing that to distract us, and like really he was like twerking the whole time and just sucking air up his
He was just
butt,
he was just puckering it.
making it go like just
Yeah, just a little.
look like a fish.
It was pretty impressive considering he never shit on himself.
That
That
we
we know
know
of.
of.
That we
I was
know
gonna
of.
say we never
Except for that one time.
inspected
Yeah.
it. I will
Oh,
never.
that was great.
I mean, I'll never forget. Like I remember, it was in sixth grade. So whenever the band kids went to band, uh, the ones that weren't in band got to just chill out in class for like 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Jason and one of our friends, Brad, would go through my Mad magazines and we would read through the comics in there and we'd all take different parts. Because, well, I mean, we're 12 years old. We're kind of lame. That's what we did. And I'll never forget one time Brad punched me in the arm. If he did, and it wasn't like it was playful or whatever. What he did, I farted. And he's like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "It's a defense mechanism, like a skunk."
Oh man, I remember Mad magazines. Those were great.
No, they're actually in a pile right over there. I pulled them out because my son's 13 now. I figured he might get some enjoyment out of reading them. But then at the same time, I'm like, he's not going to understand any of the pop culture references in that
No,
at all.
mm,
It
who
was it was
knows?
a great magazine. I mean, it's still out. I saw one not that long ago, and I was very tempted to get it. It was like one of those big editions that was a bunch of spy versus spy comics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, and I want to say it was like $25, and I was like, what the
Damn.
fuck? Because it used to be like $2.50, and it said cheap underneath it. And now
Mm-hmm.
they don't even pretend. They say $25 cheap. It's like
Do they
you
still
kiss
make
my
them like
ass.
every month or whatever it is now?
No. This was like a collection.
Mm.
I think the last Mad magazine that I bought was about 2005, maybe. I don't. It had Britney Spears on there. And I thought it was
Oh,
funny. So
I used to like taking that back flap and folding it up to make it that other picture.
it
Yeah.
was cool. All right, I think we finally stretched this out past 30 minutes. Boom, we did it.
Hell yeah.
Mission accomplished. Like I said, if you want the more gruesome fart stories, there we go. That'll work. Let us know in the comments. I'll gladly put those into a sequel. And if you just want a bunch of lighthearted, funny, and actually shorter content, because
Mm.
Leroy's episodes, I think, are what, like 20 minutes or
20
something like
minutes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go check out his show. He's awesome. All
There he
right.
is.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Waywut. This show's available on YouTube, Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Waywut Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, wait, what?